Hi, today I would love to show you how to make some beautiful tiny cactus plants in pinch pot bowls out of air dry clay. Of course, nature is full of a magnificent variety of cacti, so you can literally let your imagination go wild. I'm just going to show you some basic techniques. You can even think about making one pot with a variety of little cacti in there. For this project, you would need a ball of clay, roughly the size of a small orange. I like to use Dala air drying clay because it's just really a great product, but of course you can use whatever you have at hand. You would also need to have a little drawing stick, a toothpick, possibly a cutting stick, and of course your scratch and wet, which is basically just a toothbrush and some water. So when we start, we usually just squeeze and roll our ball into a sausage-like shape to make it easier to break. You can place your two chomping hands around it, twist and pull and break it into two roughly equal pieces, and then take one of them and again break it in half into two roughly equal pieces. Now, depending on how big you want your bowls to be, you can either now make one little pinch pot out of this piece, or you can break it again in half if you want to make a tiny one like this, and then turn it into a nice ball. So remember to keep your hands in a bowl-like shape, fingers together. Pass that ball between your hands, squeezing gently, squeeze, squeeze, and roll. If you simply roll between your hands, the clay tends to go into a bit of a disc-like shape. That's why it's useful to just keep squeezing in between, rolling, and keeping your hands in a ball shape. Once you are happy with your ball, we can make a pinch pot. Of course, the best way to imagine and to remember is to imagine that your ball is the moon sitting in the sky. Your thumb is the rocket ship flying high, and on the rocket ship there is a quack quack. So the rocket ship crashes into the moon, drills a hole into its core. Oh no, it is stuck. What are we going to do? Luckily, we've got our orbiting hand with which to turn the ball around our thumb, but we would need the quack quack to make the hole bigger. So, keeping your fingers straightened together, only your thumb inside, you're going to gently squeeze the edge of the pot. Turn it slightly and squeeze again. Turn and squeeze. So we're going to continue doing that, taking our time, making sure that we go around and around and around. You might want to also give some special attention to the rim, in which case bring your quack quack a bit closer and only pinch around the rim. So keep doing that until you're happy, and if it's a bit cracky, then you can simply smooth it out with your fingers or with a little bit of water. Once you're happy with your pot, just make sure that it's nice and sturdy, so just buff it onto the table so that it's got a flat bottom. And of course you can decorate your pot now if you want to with all sorts of patterns, or leave it like that and paint it later. You can then take another piece of clay, I would say roughly the size of a grape, and then we're just going to squeeze it into our pot, into the bottom as soil, so that we can plant our cactus on there. And now we can make our cactus, cacti. So there are so many different ways, but we're just going to do the basic techniques. First of all, you can simply just roll a ball and just plant a ball and make some flowers for that. You can also decide that you want to turn the ball into an oval. So you're going to just roll it slightly between your hands until it's the desired length that you want it to be. Of course, always give some extra attention to what it looks like if you want to smooth out the top so that it's a bit more rounded, and you can plant that and make some extra little balls to stick on there. If you want your shape to be a little bit more tapered towards the bottom, almost in a carrot-like shape, you can take your oval and just roll it between your hands so that you only press down at the bottom of the ball or of the oval so that it tapers. You can also roll it on the table, doing the same thing, only rolling on the one side. And then, of course, you can attach that. If you want to, you can also just simply make a lot of balls and flatten them and then attach a few in a variety of different constellations. You can also just roll simple sausages and make a whole pot full of little sausages. You can also, of course, make a magnificent, big, fat one, just rolling it, smoothing out the edges, and then attaching. So just a note on scratching and wetting. It's always important to scratch and wet to attach things. We're making a glue. So shake off that excess water, and then you are going to just scratch and wet there where you want to glue your piece together. So just make sure that it's nicely attached there. If you want to do a branches, again, scratch and wet there where you want to attach your branch. Make sure that it's really attached, and you can also even smooth it in a little bit like that to just double sure and bend it into whatever shapes you want to do. In terms of texture, I like to use the side of my big stick, my cutting stick, so to make nice grooves into my cactus. You can, of course, just use your little stick and make holes in a nice pattern, or just madly a variety of different dots to symbolize the thorns. If you want to, you can probably even use cut off pieces of toothpick to stick in there. And of course, you can use the back of your big stick if you want to make bigger holes. And just explore and experiment. In terms of flowers, I'll quickly show you a few. Obviously, the simplest way to make them is just to make tiny little balls and attach them and making a hole in it. Or you can make slightly bigger ones, also balls, or roll them into ovals. Just put some texture all around, and again a hole in the middle, and then you attach them like that. You can make a big flower by simply rolling a ball, flattening it, drawing a almost pizza-like pattern or star pattern on there, and then just rolling a little ball, and again scratching and wetting it on top like that. Or if you want to, you can make a tiny little pinch pot. So again, rolling a ball, making a little pinch pot, and you can kind of squeeze it into more of a organic shape. Again, rolling a ball, touching it in the middle, giving it some texture, and attaching it to your cactus. So once you're finished and you're all happy with your work, let it dry. If you have been using air drying clay, then you can paint it with some craft paints and varnish it and enjoy your beautiful creations. Thank you.